game as you could play last night. Again, I know it was against Memphis.
Still.
But the Lakers looked as good as you can look. I know we got a coach coming on.
Yeah.
If you're a coach, that is one of the games where your players executed to perfection.
Yeah.
And good for them.
And we will circle back to that. In the meantime, we're getting ready for Rams Seahawks on Sunday. Rams coming off their bye week, and joining us right now is the head coach of the Los Angeles Rams, our friend, Coach Sean McVay. Coach, how are you, man?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
We're doing great, Sean, and glad to have you with us as always. Do you get away from football during the bye week, or because you guys have struggled a little bit this year, is it impossible for you to take a whole day or a whole 2 days and get away from football during the season?
No, I think it's a good balance. I think you want to be able to get recharged and refreshed, but there's, a good opportunity to be able to really look at what are the areas of improvement, and that's no different than if we were, in a great situation or if we're working through some different things. And so you want to be consistent with your approach. But it was good to be able to get some time with my family. We didn't go anywhere. So, I got a good opportunity to be able to, get some good work in at the house and still be able to enjoy some good quality time with them.
So signed Carson Wentz, I'm not sure what the status of Matthew Stafford is for Sunday, but Wentz has had now a chance to sort of get into the system a little bit and I guess work with you guys and look at some stuff. Do you have any sense for who's going to play quarterback on Sunday?
Yeah, it should be Matthew unless something unforeseen happens. So Matthew's feeling good. He's done a great job of taking care of himself and getting him in a position to be ready to go, but it was good to get Carson in here. If God forbid, something were to happen to Matthew, a guy that's played a lot of football, like the way that he's handled himself in the few days that we've been around him. But we expect Matthew to be ready to go.
Sean, when you signed Carson Wentz, I actually liked it. I think that he's, the media's kind of beat him up a little bit, but I compared it to when you brought Baker Mayfield in last year. Everybody was really down on Baker, and then you gave him an opportunity, and he made the most of it. Is there something there, a guy like Carson who obviously has talent, didn't work out with a few other teams, but Baker, you got the talent out of him last year, and look at him now. He's doing great. Is maybe a new, fresh start something Carson can benefit from?
I think he'd be able to tell you that better than me, but I do know this. Both those guys are big-time players that have had a lot of success, and I think sometimes they can almost be a victim of they did so many great things that people take for granted how hard it is to play their position, but they had always, Baker had always been a really good player, and I think Carson's played an unbelievable amount of good football dating back to his rookie year in 16 and then even, just going against him when we were here in 17. But I've been a fan of his. I thought he played really good football with the Eagles, with the Commanders, and then obviously with the Colts. We saw it firsthand in the 21 season in the second game. So he's a guy that's done it at a high level. He's got a lot of the traits and skills that you like, and he's really impressive as a person as well.
Tell me about some other injury situations. You mentioned Stafford, Rob Havenstein, Ernest Jones, Kyron Williams. What's the status of those guys going into Sunday?
Yeah, so all those guys should be good to go with the exception of Kyron. He's got one more week on IR, and then we expect to get him back after that where he'll be available. You got to miss 4 games in total, and so he's missed 3, and then he'll be available for return after this game. So that'll be a big boost. But to get those guys that you just mentioned back is a significant boost to our football team. And being healthier, we'll get Bobby Brown, who's he did a really good job in the interior parts of our defensive line, and we've missed him the last handful of weeks. We'll get him back as well, and so I think the bye came at a good time. And let's go see if we can play our best football down the stretch here these last 8 games.
Sean McVay is our guest. Coach, I've done a couple of games in the past couple of weeks where I did a game at Miami when Eric Spoelstra was coaching the Heat, and then I did a game against the Clippers when Ty Lue was coaching the Clippers, and I found myself saying both times, these guys are excellent strategists. They're great play callers. If you have one play to draw up, you would be lucky to have a guy like Eric Spoelstra or Ty Lue. They're really good tactically. Who is that in the NFL? Is it you? Is it somebody else? Is it several people? When I ask it that way, who pops into your mind that you have great respect for as just a tactician and a play caller?
I mean, there's a handful of guys. I mean, you look at, some of the guys that have done it at such a high level for a long time. It's hard not to mention Coach Reed, Coach Belichick on the defensive side of the ball. Mike Tomlin is a guy that is a defensive background, but's got great command of the game. I have tremendous respect for guys in this division. Kyle Shanahan's excellent. Obviously, I'm always going to be biased towards, my guys, Kevin O'Connell, Brandon Staley, and, Zach Taylor, Matt LaFleur. So I think for you to do it at a high level at this league, it's really hard. And I think there's such high-level competition. Even Ben Johnson, a guy that's done a great job for the Detroit Lions, is coming to mind. So I could go on. I could go through each team and tell you things I respect about them because I think the level of competition is so high. But I certainly, getting to know Coach Spo and Ty Lue a little bit, I think those are two excellent leaders, excellent communicators, and know how to put their guys in the right spots. I couldn't agree more with you.
Coach Sean McVay is with us, Mason in Ireland, 710 ESPN. So do you know who the number one grossing movie star in the history of the world is, Sean?
I do not.
It is Samuel L. Jackson. Samuel L. Jackson. And
that's awesome. Good for him.
At the end of your game with Green Bay, Samuel L. Jackson, who has never, ever posted a tweet about the Rams, to the best that we know of, we've gone back through the history, he was critical of you. He said, at what point do we start the Rams coaching conversation? Now, respond directly to Sam Jackson, who I know is a regular listener to the show.
In what regard? I'm wondering what was the. So tell me what was the tweet.
The tweet read, "At what point do we start the Rams coaching conversation?" He was obviously very irrational on this day.
Yeah, well, shoot. We obviously could have done a lot better. This is a production-based business. I got to do a better job, and you got to give people a reason to support you. And obviously, there wasn't a good enough job at the Green Bay game for him to feel that way. So he's definitely, entitled to his opinion, and that's why you go back to work. You try to do better and put our guys in the right spots, and let's see what it looks like.
I know him a little bit. I'm going to straighten him out. I don't know what's wrong with him.
That is weird. That is weird.
Hey, but speaking of putting guys in position, getting ready, here come the Seahawks, and you guys played one of your best games of the year when you opened the season against the Seahawks. Do you go back, Sean, and look at that game, or because it was so long ago, it was the first week of the season, do you have to look at more recent film of the Seahawks and say this is a new start at 0-0? How much do you rely on the first time you played them when you get ready for this game?
No, you do. There's still, it's definitely something that you take into account, but you also look at the most recent weeks, and so, all of it is a part of the preparation for sure.
Coach, any idea what happened 5 years ago today?
Nope, not any idea.
Rams, Chiefs at the Coliseum in one of the greatest, probably the greatest Monday Night Football game of all time. What do you remember from that night?
Dude, man, I remember a lot of great memories. A lot of cool people and a lot of things that were going on in our community at the time.
That's
that I
right.
thought, our players did a great job of being able to rally everybody, and you see people working towards a common goal. You saw a connected team try to find a way to be able to get it done against a great opponent. That was a hell of a night for sure.
But by the way, Coach,
maybe Joel tweeted after that game something nice.
Yeah, we'll go back
kidding.
and find the something nice from Sam.
By the way, do you, Sean?
Go my day, man. I don't need to know about it. There's a reason I'm not on social media. I don't need to know about that stuff.
Okay, good to know. We'll file that away. Hey, last thing from me. Knowing you a little bit, I think you're probably part of you, as long as he's not playing you, part of you is probably rooting for Jared Goff, right? I know that you guys had great success together and you won the Super Bowl when you brought Matthew in, but he's having a great year. And my guess is, knowing the way you are, you're probably supporting him a little bit, right?
100%. I thought he played he's played great all year, did an amazing job against the Chargers last week, going up and down the field, making big-time conversion after big-time conversion. So, shoot, we had a lot of great memories together. I'm very appreciative of all the things that he did for us, and he is balling for those guys. It's awesome to see.
Hey, listen, Coach, I'll be there on Sunday at SoFi Stadium, Rams versus Seahawks. Go get them. Thanks a lot for coming on. We appreciate it, man.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Sean. See ya.
There's Sean McVay.
Don't bring up Samuel L. Jackson crapping on McVay. What's wrong with you?
No, I thought this is interesting. What led Sam Jackson? And I brought this up when you were gone. Sam Jackson, they went back and looked at his timeline. He had never tweeted anything about the Rams ever until the end of the Green Bay game. And he said, when are the questions coming about the coaching? I'm like, he's like going after the coach in his first tweet.
I wonder if Sean went to the game, or Sam went to the game.
No, the game was in Green Bay, unless he went to Green Bay.
No, probably not.
No, I don't think.
Yeah.
I'd like
he's got a movie coming out. He's not the star of it. Brie Larson's the star of it. Bergen, you know the Marvel world.
The Marvels.
The Marvels, yeah.
It's like three different Captain Marvels.
I miss seeing Sam. He hasn't been playing golf because he had back surgery.
Oh,
but
did he?
I just heard last week that he's coming back.
Oh, okay, good.
So he's going to start playing.
So that's fewer negative tweets about Sean McVay?
I will talk to Sam about the Sean McVay tweet.
Talk to him. By the way, every time Coach McVay is on the show, it's brought to you by Service Titan, the all-in-one solution that connects your entire HVAC, electrical, and plumbing operation on a single software platform, helping make the combination we love every Rams season. Coach Sean McVay with Mason and Ireland. All right, coming up next for you. So everybody wants Caleb Williams on their team. But
who wouldn't?
There's a fan of one team who deliberately and carefully went and tried to